So Carl, we're now in a super nice place. Okay, it looks like a different, parang you transported me in a different
We're still
place.
in New Valley?
Ramdam na ramdam ko na pang mayaman to. Okay, so this is one of the Ayala Land Premier. Villages. Okay, it's beautiful. That is like really beautiful. Everywhere you see, it's beautiful. The plants are different, the entrance is different, the size of the lands are different. I noticed this, so it's beautiful. But I also noticed something, Carl. Wala masyadong bahay.
Yeah.
And considering this is one of the first developments, why is that so?
So, very good question, Kuya RT. No? Talk about the behavior of the different demographics. So,
Ito demographic mo kasi to, so
yeah,
gets mo to, no? Okay.
so in my business, I'm able to deal with many demographics, no? From the working class to the above middle, upper middle, and then the ultra rich.
And
no?
now OFW.
And then the OFW market. Very interesting kasi you see the purposes, iba-ibang purpose. So, like for the lower market segment, some are medyo yung nakakagaang sa buhay, nakaipon. They buy their first property in the avida market segment, which is good. It's equally good. It's all you're sharing the same amenities.
Same location actually.
Same location. And then yung medyo mataas ang salary, corporate or a new entrepreneur, they're able to buy the Alveos. That's the upper middle
because
market.
it's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit nicer.
Like the 300 to 400 square meter. And then you have here the Ayala Land Premier, the ultra luxury. These are talagang generational wealth. There are generational wealth. There are first time wealthy but really good businesses, good systems that are in place. And iba rin yung mga purposes, like maybe for the middle, upper middle market, they buy it for their own or for their kids. Sometimes naman for the ultra rich, it's just store of value.
So ito, I noticed, no, if you buy a land here, and you bought it 12, 15 years ago?
Yeah, you know, interesting.
You bought this and then you didn't do anything with it, so looks like it's just a holder value, kumbaga parang gold.
Yeah.
Nalagyan ko lang dito, iiwanan ko lang.
To put numbers to that, no, maybe a property here that's maybe 700 square is worth around nearing 30 million today.
Okay.
Nearing 30 million, 700 square. But you can buy that maybe 07 for 12 million.
Okay.
So that's 12 million to 30 million-ish. Parang malaki rin. On a percentage, guys, it's maybe 2x. Diba? 2x.
Okay.
That's so exciting, 2x. But from an amount point of view, that's like 15 million in between without doing anything. So that's yung store of wealth na talaga.
So this is pretty much when you look at it, or looking at here's the math in me, compounded annual growth rate of somewhere between 7 to 9%-ish, depending on what time you come in, which is actually good because that's outperforming inflation.
Yeah.
So hard assets favor inflation, and I noticed this is kind of kakaiba, no? Because you've been a broker. Why do high net worth property have this tendency to appreciate faster than mid sector and low sector? Because of the buyers?
David Dichu will perfectly understand this. You have to understand the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Some of the expensive properties in Manila, you don't buy it because you need a roof over your shoulder. You buy it because of association. You want to belong to that certain level of community.
Like me being your friend now. I want to be your friend.
Me being Kuya Artie's friend. So it's very interesting yung the rich market kasi they buy things not for basic reasons. Being associated with a certain brand, being a certain community, being invited to certain
bragging rights
events. I'm sure Marvin will be able to relate to that.
So yun yung so that's why, again, that's because of that particular behavior, it's in a way affecting demand.
Yes.
And one of the things that I know, siguro tingnan mo rin dito, Marvin, Carl, no? What did I notice the behavior of the rich and ultra rich, your friends and family? They have a price. If you don't want to buy it, it's okay, I'll wait. Is that a contributor to the price? Parang, it's okay. I want to sell it at, say, X a month, 50,000 per square. If you don't want to get it, it's okay, it's fine.
I guess you're right, no? I guess that's what drives yung mga Makati properties, di ba? But the base is, so you understand, no? Is supply and demand.
Yeah, okay.
If that not much supply on something that you really want to belong to that village, then you can command the price.
So you're gonna push the price up.
Plus, you have to understand, your buyer is moneyed. So darating isang point, okay, sige na nga, fine. And sometimes it's more of a gain to them pa nga.
Yeah.
Diba?
And then, so the rich people, sabi nga, "I've made enough money, okay, fine." One of the things I learned from them is, don't fall in love with these assets.
Okay.
They're just assets. Okay?
Yeah.
Meron silang price point that they want to be able to do that. So, that's the behavior. And again, when you go around here, and I noticed Carl, I hardly saw any houses. And it's been an ongoing development. I mean, it was one of the earlier developed areas of Nuvali, and yet there's so very, very few houses. And because they bought it, maybe thinking generational.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
baka hindi na anak, apo na iniisip, di ba? So,
Well, for the high-end market in Nuvali, there are lesser houses, pero meron din, you will see people building
pero
houses.
sparsely, di ba?
Not as
Sparsely.
much as the other brands.
Yeah.
Siguro because of the demographics na
Okay.
many of them have already established big houses
Yeah.
in Metro Manila.
Yeah.
And this is just para a secondary
Yeah.
for them.
It's not going to be their primary house.
Yes.
So there's no rush to do it. It's going to be like a place. Okay. So behavior. Now, moving forward, what are the differences, let's say, a middle market?
Okay.
A middle market. Ano yung buying behavior nila?
Ang middle market is there's the upper middle market. Syempre they used to be a regular person like us, pero medyo nakaangat.
Okay.
So it's aspirational.
Okay.
I think that's the right word. No? There's nothing wrong with it, but it is really just interesting to understand na, I want to be able to buy that car na
Next
dati hindi
level.
ko next
Okay.
level. Oh,
SUV na ako.
So
Diba?
this is very important if you're a business person and you're trying to target that market. May kaunting
Okay.
aspiration.
But also, they're still, at the same time, still practical.
oh yeah, definitely.
Hindi pa rin sila like dito, whatever the price is, I don't.
Yeah.
Hindi pa rin sila ganon. I mean, the middle market has more money, it's aspirational, and yet they're still practical.
Yes.
So,
Parang binibilang pa rin.
and the price, you can see that, no?
Yes.
The way they haggle, the way there's those things, and also the way you price. Hindi yung, regardless of what price I buy it, hindi pa rin sila ganon.
How about you, Kuya Ron? But that's a very interesting topic. How about you, Kuya Ron? In your industry, what do you
Okay.
see naman na difference ng ultra high, upper middle, and then the working class?
Medyo iba kasi I'm in the finance side.
Okay.
So it's really more about utilization sa kanila. It's not, finance is not really aspirational. It's really, I have to see value. So the upper market is really value driven. I'm gonna invest there if I see, if it's good, if I, it's, yes, aspirations work, but not so much on that side. So it's really value that they get. When it comes to the financial side, they're ultra practical. Ultra practical. I mean, every peso counts, di ba? They haggle the prices. Very, very different. That's why it's nice to talk to you kasi we're from different industries. Ibang-iba yung behavior nila. Of course, there's still a few that doesn't matter, may aspirational side. Then, the middle market is a little bit different. Okay? Again, sometimes they can be blinded by aspirations. Okay? So, that's weird, no? So, middle market, sa finances, they're not as ultra stingy, practical as the upper market. But the aspirations work, being belongingness will change. And of course, the lower market is really about what they can afford.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are kind of strange. It's nice, guys. No, we cannot. Ang galing, no? That's why Carla and I have been friends for tagal na, no? I think 10 years tayo kaibigan.
Yeah.
Hindi natin pwede siya i-box, eh.
Yes.
So very different. Okay, we've talked about the ultra high net worth. Talk about your friends and family behavior. Talk about the middle market. Maybe that's where I belong. Okay. And let's talk about the up and coming. Okay. The ang pangit pakinggan. The avida market. No, it's not about that because may avida ako, no.
Yeah,
May avida ka.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's what's their behavior?
Okay. Ako, I personally like also the Avida brand because
Okay.
it's really value for money.
We're not paid, by the way.
Yeah, we're not. I think
we should charge them.
let's call our friends from Avida. From a value for money,
Okay.
I see a lot of value also in that brand.
Okay.
Oo.
Why does it resonate well with the, okay, aside from affordability, the buying behavior of an entry level type of a market? What makes it, what's unique about them?
Okay, the buying na nakikita ko in my world, no, from the is sometimes they're very price conscious.
Okay.
And
Yun,
they're-
pareho na yan sa finance.
But
Cost.
sometimes also too profit focus.
Oh,
Pag masyado kang
okay.
profit focus, baka ma-tend ka madapa.
Yeah,
Kasi parang, uy,
yeah.
magkano bang ipaprofit
Nakakasira
ko
ng
dyan?
diskarte dyan.
Or,
Okay.
well,
Good.
We have some friends in overseas wherein they bought like 3, 4, 5 at one time. Kasi gusto nila, hindi, i-flip ko to, ganun-ganon. And then pandemic came, so medyo nahirapan. So
And yung mga investors, nagmamadali sila.
nagmamadali, nagmamadali. I think,
Okay. But end users, what's the difference?
pag end users naman, I love that end user market kasi sila talaga gagamit and they're not so, basta they're happy with what they see, it fits their budget, they want to decide fast.
Okay.
Kasi gusto na nila magamit, magpatayo ng house,
So
mag-growing.
gusto nila, what they see, tama yung price, shoot, and then they will now act on it.
Yes.
And these people, they don't sell their houses for decades.
Oh yeah. Pag end user, you just keep it unless na you're upgrading.
Yeah, okay.
Meron din yan.
So guys, iba-iba behavior, no? End users, investors, land bankers, the Carl D's of the world, they're different. Okay, now, and you're one of the few independent brokers that pretty much have sufficient OFW market exposure. By the way, we've traveled together. We've been to Dubai, we've been to Singapore.
Yes.
Si Aisel kasama namin sa Japan.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Japan.
Hindi namin siya sinasama pag masarap yung food. Useless. Okay, joke lang. Si Aisel lang kasama. Aisel, I also work with Aisel. Okay, so what are the trends that you're seeing or the buying behavior of the OFW now?
Buying behavior of the OFW.
And they've consumed a lot of property now.
Yeah, I think because they have the capacity, they have the extra income, mataas ang income overseas.
So affordability becomes less of a hurdle for them.
Yes. Siguro kung meron man is not too nagmamadali. That's to be tayo kasi, we are at some point Chinese blood, diba? So medyo slow and steady tayo.
Okay.
Sometimes if you're overseas, I see them like really go all out.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because contract based sila eh. 3 years, 5 years. Very few naman that you get to encounter na 25 years. So may ganong, it affects their behavior. But so that's also another factor that you saw in OFW, nagmamadali. Okay, that can be an advantage for brokers like you.
Yeah.
But also disadvantage kasi they get frustrated also.
Yeah, you're right.
We talk about buying behavior. You said that they have to be watchful of what they buy, the commitment, yung lump sum.
Yep.
What are your tips for them?
My tips for my friends in the overseas, huwag magmamadali. Just take it easy. Just chill. Just take it one step at a time. Ask the right questions.
Okay. Such as?
What if walang mag-rent? Or what is my exit plan? What if my income suddenly gets cut?
Okay.
What if somebody gets sick in the family? How will I manage it?
And we saw that, no? You were talking during the pandemic. By the way, si Carl did something, yung mga bayanihan services, pasalo services, and those things. They were susceptible to those things. So again, just to be careful lang. My tip is cash flow. Can your cash flow sustain it? Are you covered? Huwag masyadong pakit-pakinggan, huwag masyadong nagpapabudol. Diba? Bibili mo to, i-flip ko to bago mag-turnover, mabibenta ko to, may mag-rent na to. These are all maganda lang yan in PowerPoints.
Yeah.
But in reality, Carl's been doing this for what? You've been
we've been doing it for
how many into real estate?
Almost 20 years na. And yet we're very cautious.
Grabe, I thought you were like 45.
Every step of the way cautious. We don't we don't buy a second property if the first one is not yet like fully rented out. Parang ganun. So may konting alalay.
Good tips for you. You're seeing changes. Of course, developers know how to appeal to different segments. That's good. If you noticed, the pool here is much nicer, much bigger.
May bato-bato pa.
And yet walang tao. Okay. So again, may bato-bato pa. Sorry to say, even the plants are different. Okay. So you're seeing that. So alam nila, that's very important for them. But as a buyer, it's really important for you to know also. So regardless of your status, regardless of where you are, wisdom is really important.
Yes.
And you can learn a lot from my friend Carl D when it comes to property. He's my coach when it comes to property. He's been
Kuya Ran is
teaching
my
me
coach also.
all these years, and really, he's my broker, my friend. But those things. Okay. Final words. We've done a lot of videos here. Thank you, Carl, for touring me around. Okay. Grabe, Carl, kung marami na akong pera, lahat ng alok mo bibilin ko. But for touring me around. But any for the viewers, listeners, and those who are watching us.
I think what happened during the pandemic is very helpful to the younger generation.
Okay.
Kasi they were born na boom eh.
Yeah.
Alam ko, I remember we were talking about this, parang our generation talagang sobrang gung-ho sila.
Yeah.
Kasi they did not go through those crises.
Everything was a bull run for them.
Everything was a bull run. So I think the 2-year pandemic, yung reality na it can happen.
Ito yung crisis nila.
Yung crisis will help us become better.
Pangilang crisis na natin ito. No,
Ako pangalawa. Ikaw eh?
don't ask.
But you know what? Funny story. The first crisis I experienced was 08-09.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot.
Yeah.
You learn, we bought
But
our...
that was a very different crisis as the crisis now.
See?
Very good.
Also very interesting to know what is the cause of the crises. Kasi it helps you analyze it. You know, West Grove we bought during the 09 crisis for 3.5 million.
Wow.
Value today maybe
How
12.
big is that?
300 squares. 350.
Wow.
3.5 million. Value today siguro if we sold it 12 million.
How much would be a parking lot in Surrender cost today?
Parking sa 2 million.
Just to park your, 12 square meter place.
You know, ito interesting but from a high-end market behavior, definitely the parking is such a necessity.
Yeah.
You know, high-end market. Kaya I tell my client, if you have a chance to buy parking, just buy it.
Yeah. I bought parking.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so good. So, very important. Take note, take stock, look at your cash flow. But at the end of the day, don't be too restricted din. Kasi kung masyado naman fearful, then you will go into this. One thing I like about property is a waiting game.
Yeah.
If you're willing to wait, if you have the cash flow for it, and it's really, wag nagmamadali. Don't be too much into, after 2 years turnover, I'll split it. Flip it. Flipping, people will not agree with me, but flipping don't really actually work in the Philippine context.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah. Chamba lang yon. It's
Chamba.
not,
It happened during the Chinese Pogo market.
Yeah.
Flip.
pero chamba lang yon.
Chamba lang.
So don't look at, it should not be a strategy.
Yes.
Okay. So very important for you to understand, it's a waiting game. Okay? I mean, you know, like Carl and I saying, I like to buy, but I'm also looking at my, ayoko na toxic masyado, sa stress.
Ayun.
Hulog ka ng hulog. So again, very careful, but it is a good thing to buy. As a father, okay, Carl, you have 3 kids, I have 4 kids. Alam natin, this is something you want to live with them.
Yes.
So, you consider property also. Of course, I'm a stock market, crypto, mutual fund guy. Okay, that's part of what I do, but I also like property.
Will you have videos on crypto?
We will, we're having our events now, Unbox Success. Okay, so Carl, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love this place.
you.
So Carl, hanap mo ka ng bargain.
Yes! Counter ng bargain. Guys, just keep in touch sa Facebook and I'll share with you some bargains.
Follow Carl D, Facebook, and TikTok. TikToker ka na, bro.
TikToker, like you.
Okay, and then of course, sabihin mo naman, subscribe and like.
Please subscribe and like to Randall Tiongson's video. Click the bell icon.